Hi, my name is Brian. I work for a Globe Machine. I build all the saws here, so this is one of my things that I do is build all the arbors for these saws. So here we are. So we're going to do this arbor for a second pass saw, and we're going to get started on it. So here's all your pieces. I get them all out. I get them laid out so they're on the right side of the arbor which I want to put them on. So first off, we start by cleaning everything. Everything's got to be very, very clean to put these arbors together. This is the inside of the bores, spindle, bearings. Bearings got to, very important to clean these bearings inside a tank or something. Make sure they're very clean. So then get all that done and get all your hardware, tools, stuff together. Then you want to start by packing the bearings. So that's what we're going to do here. I already got one packed, but we'll show you how we pack the bearings. So you just start off by getting greasy and start pushing that grease into the bearing. Lots of it. Takes a few minutes though, but you want to really get it pushed in there. That's very important to get it pushed in there. Get it inside, so down inside that cage. So then you turn it over and see. You see how this being pushed to the cage and stuff. That's what you want to see before you start greasing the other side. If you see any blank spots in there or something like that, then go to the other side, push more grease through there before you pack this side. Then go ahead and throw grease on this side. Okay, once you think you got it all nice and packed, good, got lots of grease in there, kind of clean it up a little bit. Now you want to grab a hold of this inner race in here and start spinning it. And you want to spin it till you can turn it pretty freely. Get that grease worked into the bearing. And see how it's starting to spin easier? Work that grease in there. There, once it gets in there, see, it'll spin and you can turn it nice and smoothly. A little drag on it because of all the grease. So once you get that accomplished, you see how the grease is in the bearing now. Then you want to pack it a second time. Just a quick pack. You don't have to be anything real heavy like you did the first time, but you want to fill up, make sure you get, if there's any little voids or anything like that, you want to make sure you get them, grease in them. Okay, that's a pretty well packed bearing. So now that you got everything cleaned up, your bearing's packed, is you're ready to put the arbor together. Okay, so you want to get yourself something to press your bearings with in there. These come in a kit, in a box. It's for bearings, used for bearings. So you're going to want to start. I always start by putting my bearing on the blade side first. This is your fixed end. Just get it started on there like so, then down. And it should go on fairly easy. You don't want anything real tight. If it's too tight, you'll ruin your bearing. So it's got to be kind of a nominal fit. Not real tight, but not loose either. Kind of a, not a slip fit, but it's a very lightly press fit. Or either you'll squeeze the outer race, the inner race there, and you'll bind up the bearing. Okay, and that's ready to go in your bore. So you just kind of have to hold things in there a little bit and give it a little bit of tap. And then you can get your other one started in there. Now this is your floating end. It doesn't just goes around there. So it goes around the journal. So you want to do that one last. Once you get that kind of fit in there like that, then you want to finish pressing in your fixed side. And once you get that pressed in there, then you want to put on your seal. That goes in. And then your cap. That holds this bearing in place. You want to use Loctite when you put these in there. There's no lock washers or nothing. So you want to make sure that you get some Loctite. Blue Loctite is what we use. So I'll just use my wrench to get them started in there and lightly tighten up. Since you have no lock washers on there, these need to be torqued. So then once you get that far, then you want to get a torque wrench out. You want to look up the torque specifications. We have charts here that we use to figure out what we need to torque it down. This one's calling out for to be 18 foot-pounds or 5/16 18. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So once that's accomplished, you got that side in there, your fixed bearing is in there. Now you'll go this. This here's called your floating end. All it does is goes in there and goes up against the shoulder of the journal. It'll move for expansion, of heat expansion. So now once that is fixed, this will only go in so far. That's it. You can't go wrong putting them in if you do it that way. Get your seal. Then you got your lock washer and your locking nut. So we have a special tool here that we use to hold the spindle in place. We just put that in our keyway there and tighten it down. It helps us hold it in place while we tighten up the nut. So once you get it down there, you'll have it snug. You'll have to find a place for one of these tabs to go down. You got 4 places, so you only make this thing snug. If you make it too tight, you'll squeeze your bearings and they'll heat up. So you just want to get it nice and snug. Get a little tension on there. Then you look around, see the closest tab that you go to, and that's what you'll tighten up to. Okay, I've tightened it up to this tab, so that's where I'm going to go. Okay, once you get this thing up in there and get a tab with this slot lined up, you think you got it there, go ahead and spin this around. And if you think that is too tight, then loosen it up a notch. I think I have this a little tight. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit here and loosen it up a notch. Because you gotta remember, all this nut is doing is holding this back bearing in there. You don't want to, because you're not pressing nothing in there. You don't want it pressed in there. You just want it to hold that bearing in place. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a little readjustment on it, because I don't like the way it feels. It feels a little tight to me. So I'm going to back it off a notch and find where it's a good notch just to back it off to. Looks like that would be a good spot. Okay, so that's where I'm gonna take a little heat off of it, and you really won't know until you test run it, but that's what we do. So once you get there where you think that you don't like it, it feels good to you, then you'll bend that tab, and I'll hold all that in place. Okay, so once you get that accomplished, you got your tab in the knots, holds that nut in place so it won't ever loosen up. If you spin it, feels good to you, you're good. Seals all in, then you put your back cap on. And you do it just like the other cap. Some Loctite on there. So get those fasteners put in there, and like you did with the other side, torque them down. So now, if it's together, all you got left is your plates here. So just get a key, fit your key. If this all slides on. And there's your arbor. You have several different types of arbors. Some arbors you'll come, it'll be square, and they'll have a bunch of holes in there. Other than cleaning up all the inside there, you also want to chase out all your holes. These are cast iron, so it's easy to get a nut or bolt locked up in there. So make sure you chase them out and blow them out, everything real good, and it'll go together good for you. Once you get it all done, we do a test. On a brand new one, we do a test. We take it, we hook it up to a machine, we run it for approximately 30 minutes, and we check the heat, check the bearings, make sure it's not overheating, so it will go good once you get it out there in the field. And if you have any questions, also that you can call us here at Globe, so we'll love to answer anything you got to ask. Also, one other thing, too, I want to throw in there, too, that it's always a good idea. These things need to be rebuilt approximately every 9 months. So it's always nice to have one on hand for when that comes around and you want to tear it down, to rebuild yours, that you have one to throw back in there so you don't slow down production. So that's it, and thank you for watching.